Welcome back to Matter of Opinion. It's your boy Ray the Don.
And it's Walls P.
We're back here with another episode of Sports Talk.
Yep, Sports Talk episode 4.
Exactly.
So we're going to get into some NBA and some NFL.
Sure was.
So we're going to start with the hottest topic right now, which was the Nets versus the Warriors.
Oh my God.
And the Nets, yeah, they came out on fire and very impressive. Durant looks 100%. He looks fully healed from his Achilles injury.
First of all, I have to interrupt you. The man is playing better than when he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing.
So my question to you is, how impressed were you with the Nets?
I was very impressed. First of all, the hustle flow was there. The team coordination was there. They were working as one selected unit.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Kevin Durant, them threes, man, woo, them threes was coming.
For me, the thing that I liked the most was the fluidity of the offense.
Yeah.
You know, the ball was moving. It seemed like I was watching like how the team play of how Golden State was playing when he was on Golden State, with the way the ball movement was just fluid and everything.
Right,
like
and
that.
I think it's just the energy he brings. He brings that awareness energy that's like, you know.
Well, you got to look at it too, though, who their coach is. Steve Nash, who was a phenomenal passer.
He is.
And with him and Amari and D'Antoni, basically the three-headed monster that they were on Phoenix, how Phoenix offense was predicated on ball movement and rotation and everything.
Yeah.
You seen it in their play.
Yeah, I sure did.
Then you see they got a pretty much deep team.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They got young guys on there that don't really have a name out there like that, but don't sleep on them.
Yeah, look, I like the fact that they got Dinwiddie starting.
Yeah.
And they bring LeVert off the bench because LeVert is really a starter. So when you look at LeVert coming in, you know, with the second unit and playing against the other team's second unit, he's gonna dominate.
Yep.
And then you got Jared Allen, also who's a starter, coming off the bench with LeVert. Mm-hmm. So right there, you got two starters on your bench. So if you have a lead with your bench coming on, with your starters getting rest, and the other team is bringing in their bench, you got two starters that can basically make the lead increase.
Yep.
You know, so they're a very deep team, and I know it's one game, but I'm impressed with what I've seen from one game.
I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna call it right here on this channel. The Nets are gonna be a threat in the East.
I can't disagree with that. So now, the next question I have is, do you think this was just the Warriors are that bad, or the Nets were just that good?
I think it's a case of a bit of both. The Nets came out coordination. Their offense was on point. They shot the ball. They made selective shots, and I think their offense game planning was on point. Now for the Warriors, I feel as though, because Clay was out.
Yeah.
So they were down one of their pieces.
And
Draymond, yeah, down two pieces, and that puts a hurt on their offense and also their defense. So I feel as though they were still hurting from that, and when they went into the game, the way their offense is set up normally is to work with their star players. But if your star players are hurt or injured, now they have to try to scramble and try to figure out like who's going to take this shot, all of that stuff. You get what I'm saying? So I think that their offense was hurt with the missing pieces.
I think they're kind of like in a figuring it out process because they do have the rookie.
Yeah.
Who's starting at center.
Yeah, that is true.
And then you got Kent Bazemore. You got a couple of new pieces who are in the starting lineup or whatever that you pretty much got to find out where they go, how do they interchange and play with each other. That's number one. Number two, I honestly think if Draymond was in the game, it would have made a difference.
It would have.
I think the game would have been. I think Nets would have still won because of their cohesion, but I think it would have been a closer game than what it is. So I don't think the Warriors are bad. I think it was more of a case that the Nets were that good. And like I said, if they had Draymond
and Clay, I think it would have been a nice matchup.
Well, even if they didn't have Clay, if they had Draymond with Steph to bring that more of a familiarity of the offense. I think it would have helped the other new pieces
flow better.
You know. So I honestly think it was a case of the Nets were just that good.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, what I want to see is Christmas Day when the Warriors play again. Who are they playing? I think they're playing the Bucks. They're playing the Milwaukee Bucks on Christmas Day. So I want to see if Draymond is in that game or not. Because that'll be a good litmus test against Giannis. You know.
First of all, props to Giannis's mom. A max deal.
Yeah.
Giannis' mom, you need to be our lawyers.
Yeah. that was definitely a good look right there.
Because Giannis, I don't know. I don't. No disrespect, I'd hire you off the bat.
The thing I gotta say is I'm impressed Giannis decided to stay with Milwaukee. I mean, it could be a case where he's like, look, I'm gonna get the money now and just force my way out of Milwaukee. Who knows how it go down? But
well, we gotta look at it this way. Giannis is still young. He has time. And you know what his mom said made sense. Why leave when you can get the max amount of money on this team and only have to stay here for a certain amount of time? When your time is up, you can hop on a better team and just easily get one ring. You know?
That's true. But hey, after a while of losing, almost getting to the final dance and losing, after a while it play a role on your mentality. So it sounds good now, but if 2-3 years go by and you keep losing, like trying to get to the finals and you keep falling short, it can play a role, and you like, look, I'm ready to be out.
I mean, LeBron was in that stagnant field before, and he got out of it. So,
but he played out his contract. That's one thing I'll say with LeBron. Even though he wasn't happy, he still played out his contract.
Exactly.
You know,
so,
he didn't demand a trade. So I could see Giannis on that type of wave.
Yeah, because he looks up to LeBron.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then I feel as though Giannis will be fine after 5 years. If the Milwaukee Bucks aren't up to par, he'll either go to a team that has a good set amount of pieces, or he's guaranteed to get a ring.
I could agree with that.
He's basically giving them 5 years to get their stuff together. So Milwaukee, I'm gonna need y'all to make some trades.
As much as people put Milwaukee as the 1 or 2 team on the East, I honestly feel they're not going to the NBA Finals. That's just my opinion. I feel they're not cut to make it to the finals. I think my top contenders for the East right now, the Nets are good. Are I'm sorry to say they're at number 1 for me. Then the Celtics, then my team. I don't mean to bash my team, but you know the Celtics are a pretty good squad. Then you have the Heat, and then I would say the Bucks at the 5th spot for me. I would say the Bucks because I believe Giannis could lead them to get there to the final to the playoffs at least. He always leads them to the playoffs. That's a guaranteed fact. See, I'll say this. The only difference I'll have is I'll put Bucks higher because Bucks in the regular season, they're a problem. Where their issues come into play is when they get into a playoff matchup and you got to focus on the Bucks. That's when you can pick them apart with their deficiencies.
Oh yeah.
Now it may be different with Drew Holiday there, but the regular season they're a phenomenal team. But when it comes to the playoffs and you focus on their pros and cons, that's where I think the issues they run into issues. So that's where I stand with that. All right, so the next game we're gonna discuss is the Lakers versus the Clippers. Now, we understand that the Lakers was celebrating their championship win and getting their rings and everything like that, but that celebration was spoiled by the Clippers. Even though the box score seems closer than what it was, the Clippers basically ran away with the game. Yes, Lakers at one point bought into a 2-point game, 1-point game, whatever, but Clippers pretty much ran away with the game.
First of all, shout out to the Clippers, man.
Yeah.
To put up a fight against that deep of a bench, that's some magic right there, man.
Here's my question. Do you think the Clippers are better than they were last year?
I think they've improved. They have improved. They are hungry. They're out here. They're hungry, and they about to clip some hairlines because it's about to get real. It's about to get real, man.
Okay. Go on. Which?
I honestly was watching that game, and yes, the Lakers brought it up to close to like 2 or 1 point leads and stuff. But at the end of the day, though, the Clippers, they stuck to it, and their offense proved way too much for the Lakers to handle right now. And I think the Lakers need to come back with a better strategy, because if they meet the Clippers in the playoffs, I honestly think the Clippers will beat them. I honestly think that.
Well, here's my take on it. The Clippers is a better team now than they were last year, like hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Their front five are all defenders.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the bench, they have a good balance of defense and offense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So to me, them losing Trez was a blessing in disguise with the people that they bought in. Number one, I didn't realize they bought Nick Batum in.
Oh yeah.
Batum is a very good defender.
Mm-hmm.
Very good defender. And then you pair him up with Ibaka.
Oh my God, Ibaka is a monster.
See, what people fail to realize is Kawhi Leonard and Ibaka has chemistry from when they played on the Raptors championship
Of course.
So that's some familiarity right there, where it's easier for him to bring them along.
Matter of fact, in practice, they were talking like, yo, I got this, you got that.
Exactly.
Like, you feel me? So,
and Kawhi Leonard does have a different mentality coming into this season, as far as like trying to be more of a leader and getting more involved. And another thing too that people fail to realize, Ty Lue is a good coach.
Oh yeah.
So when you factor all these things in, I have to realign my thinking, and I have to put Clippers at the top, because seeing how they performed, and I understand the Lakers came within 1 or 2 points, whatever, but that was with the Clippers basically seeing like, we got this game, and they're playing around, so to speak. So Lakers came back into the game, but once they hit that light switch, they ran away with it again.
I think the Lakers definitely need to sit down and work some jitters out.
Yeah. So, this was going to be my next question. Do you think the Lakers are in trouble?
Yeah, if they play like how they were playing, like, those little close games, they matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to meet that team again in the playoffs. Because we both know they're going to go.
Yeah.
We both know they're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. If the Clippers meet the Lakers in the playoffs, and the Lakers come in with that same vibe that they just played with this last game, it's going to be over for them. Their playoff run is going to be done, and that's it. They're going to go home.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't say the Lakers are in massive trouble, but if you asking me for them to go to the finals, I think they're in trouble. Now, as the year goes, again, this is all based off the one game, whatever. As the year goes, the chemistry will get better and everything like that. But I think they took a step back, like a slight step back or whatever. Because, yes, Rondo was a big help. He pretty much was a big help as far as like a floor general. Now, I will say, as far as Marc Gasol, defensively, he does have the knowledge, like he knows the game and everything like that, but he's older now.
I think they made a mistake with Marc Gasol. I think they should have brought somebody in younger than Marc Gasol, just because he's at an age, at a point where he's not playing as what he used to. Like, if you look at his previous games, he was active. He was an active defender. But now it's like, he has the knowledge and the experience.
But he's older. Your body can't react with what your thought process, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I said, as the year go by, who knows, it might improve. Maybe he'll find a fountain of youth,
Or, maybe that trait.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Like, that comes with the team knowing each other. If, like, as the year go by and they figure out, like, okay, this is what we need you for, so we need you to hustle for XYZ amount of minutes a night. They'll figure, I guess they can figure that stuff out or whatever, but I wouldn't say Lakers are in trouble, so to speak, because I just can't count out LeBron and AD.
I would say they went into the fight talking BS, and they got the butt whoops.
And who knows? That could be a wake-up call, and they could, for all we know, they could go on a 20-game winning streak for it. And then we revisit this topic.
It could be another Rocky Balboa scenario. You know what I'm saying? They get beat the first time, come back for more, and win the second time.
So, I wouldn't say Lakers are in trouble for me. Too bad. So we'll see how that goes or whatever.
We'll see how that goes.
So even though it's game 1 and we were impressed with the Brooklyn Nets get play, who you think has a better chance at beating the Nets, the Clippers or the Lakers, if they met in the final?
I think, honestly, that is a
Me
good
personally,
question.
I think it's the Clippers. The reason why I think it's the Clippers is because Kawhi. You got Kawhi who would D up on Durant, and then you got, as far as Kyrie Irving, you got the option of Paul George or Patrick Beverly to put on their two main scorers, and then you have Nick Batum and Ibaka as far as like, protecting the paint or covering their bigs. So their starting five is pretty much an even lock against the Nets. Now, I will say the Nets, they do have LeVert coming off the bench, like I said, and Jared Allen.
You know
what? You got to look. The bench of the Clippers, they got Patrick Patterson, they got Reggie Jackson, they got Lou Williams, they got Zubac, and they got Kennard, which is that rookie from Duke who can score. So when you look at their squad as far as the benches go, the Clippers basically match them.
Yeah.
And if you're talking to me defensively, like their starting five defensively, Clippers starting five defensively is better than the Nets starting five defensively.
I give you that, but I think the Lakers will put up more. I think the Lakers will put up a better fight.
How so?
I think the Lakers, because even though the Lakers took their loss against the Clippers, LeBron is a strategic player. Mm-hmm. He goes back in that locker room. He says, "Hey, this is what we did wrong. This is what we need to work on." You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he has that leadership experience compared to what's the name from the Clippers? Kawhi. Yeah, Kawhi. He doesn't have that experience to really sit down and be like, "Hey, this is what we need to change our offense up to," and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
But that's where Ty Lue comes into play.
Yeah, that's where Ty Lue comes into play. But your coach sees what he sees, and you as a player see what you see. You get what I'm saying? It's two different viewpoints. So I feel as though LeBron, if they met the Nets in the NBA playoffs, they might lose the first game. But that second game, when they came back, they would come back with a game plan that revolves around all the players, locking up the entire Nets team.
I don't know if they'll lock them up, but I will say the Clippers got more bodies that they can put on.
Certain players.
On the Nets star players.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So that's where I say, because yes, you could have it's kind of like how the Heat, they had the mindset of, defending hard and everything, but they ran out of gas against the Lakers in the final. And I don't see Lakers as a deep team as they were last year.
No.
So that's the issue I see that they'll come across. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how this will play out. Like we said, it's only one game, but that one game, they made a significant mark. And that's what's going to stay in your brain, for the next 24 hours as far as that one game that the Clippers played and that the Nets played.
Until the Nets run into the Raptors and see what's what.
And here's the thing. Well, we're going to find out on Christmas night, because you got the Clippers playing the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. You got the Nets playing the Celtics. So that's going to be a good barometer.
Yeah.
Even with the Warriors playing the Milwaukee Bucks, you could see how the Bucks do against the Warriors to kind of use that as a measuring stick against the Nets.
If Giannis loses to the Warriors, then there's no way they'll make it to the playoffs, but they're not gonna go anywhere.
You don't see them as a threat or whatever.
Yeah, they'll probably be a filler team.
But everybody's gonna use that as a litmus test. If the Bucks come out and they destroy the Warriors, people are gonna be like, well, that's going to be a match to see, the Bucks versus. So they're going to use that as a litmus test. And then we got the Lakers versus the Mavs. People are going to look to see how the Lakers bounce back.
First of all, I just want to point out, nobody should be sleeping on the Suns, okay? The Suns, their team is deep.
Yeah.
Their team is deep, and they're hungry this year.
See, I put them at 7 or 8 spot for the playoffs.
I put them at 7.
I put them at 7 and 8. It's a jostle between them and Warriors. I'm not counting the Warriors out. So I
think the Suns are gonna get up there, man. I got complete faith in y'all. You hear that? I don't even like your team, but I respect your bench.
Well, we're gonna have to revisit this later down the line as the season go on.
No, but you know what? I feel as though they did them bad last year by kicking them out and all that other stuff. So I think the Suns deserve a shot this year at the playoffs. I really do.
All right.
And also that nonsense is going down with James Harden, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how now the stuff, how everything is surfacing. How basically he ran out of a lot of the stars. Westbrook wanted no parts of there. Chris Paul wanted to get out of there. Now we're gonna see if John Wall, how he reacts as far as.
I feel like John Wall would just be like, "Yo, let's just shoot the fade."
Because like the stuff that was reported with him, late to practice and
out of shape
and stuff like that,
and then
like,
throwing stuff at the other players' heads. Like, come on, bro. Like,
I mean, that he did on purpose to hopefully help push his way out there, like out from Houston. But I'm like, yo, you done like got everything you wanted from Houston. They basically traded a lot of their trade pieces. You had your insight on a lot of these, transactions that went with trades for players or whatever. But now that they have nothing else left as far as like stuff for trading pieces and stuff, now you want out. So it's kind of like you used them up, and now that they have nothing left, it's like, well, I'm done here.
Yeah, that boy, he's throwing the biggest tantrum that I've ever seen in the NBA history.
Yeah.
I've never met a player who just didn't, like, you could just sit out the games and not play and still get paid.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And the thing that people fail to realize is you had disgruntled players who demanded trades and everything, but they still were professional and did what they had to do until they, went to their next destination. But he's just blatantly like
he's in the words of all the people in the world, he just doesn't give an F.
Yeah.
I feel that's not fair to the Houston fans. And I know a lot of fans were on Twitter and stuff bashing him and everything, and I understand where you guys feel hurt that he's
I can't be mad at them.
Yeah,
I can't be mad at them. Can't be mad at them. Like, hey,
James Harden, man, I'm gonna need you to get it together, man.
Don't get me wrong, phenomenal player, but what he's like, the way things is going down, how he's leaving there, I don't.
It's a level of respect you gotta have, man.
Yeah.
For the game, like, come on.
All right, so now we're moving on to the NFL. So the Titans, they destroyed the Lions, which basically knocked the Lions out of playoff contention, and they're back on track winning their last 2 games. This Sunday night, they play your favorite, the Green Bay Packers.
Man, the Packers ain't going nowhere.
Who do you like in that game?
I'm choosing the Titans. I'm choosing the Titans. Why you even ask me? Why you even ask me? Don't even look over here for no different answer.
That's going to be a good litmus test, I tell you that.
Listen. Titans, if you win, all y'all can come to Buffalo Wild Wings on me, okay? All of y'all. I'll feed the whole team and the coaches.
That's like 10 grand right there.
Listen.
That's like 10 grand. So.
Listen. I will make OnlyFans and make it in one night. Trust me.
Racks on racks on racks. But I gotta go with the Titans. Green Bay is a phenomenal team, and they're one of the top teams in the the NFC. But like I said, I'm a big fan of the Titans. And I gotta go with the Titans on there. I don't see them really having an answer for Henry.
Yeah.
I like I say, that's a big boy.
Titans, y'all just need to win, okay? I don't care if y'all lose any other games after that, but just beat the Packers.
But don't be surprised, man, because you can never count out Aaron Rodgers.
You can't. But then the Packers just can't win. I don't care if you got to rig the game. The Packers just can't win, okay?
But yeah, so there it is. He got Titans, I got Titans. So we'll see how that plays out. But it's going to be a very good game. That I can say. All right, so the New York Jets beat the Rams.
Oh, my God.
With that win, they did prevent a 0-win season.
They won the game?
With them beating the Rams, do you see the Rams in serious trouble?
I feel like the Rams went home and cried because I would have cried. I would have cried. I went home, called my mom, and started telling her about the BS.
Now, take into consideration the next game the Rams play is against the Seahawks.
Oh, the Rams are gonna lose against the Seahawks now.
So do you believe that they're in trouble?
I feel like though they're crying and they're sad because they lost to the Jets of all teams, man. I feel like that emotional trauma is gonna mess them up for the next 5 games.
Here's the thing: they lost to the Jets. they lost twice to the 49ers. But on a good note, they did beat the Buccaneers.
They did beat the Buccaneers.
They did beat the Buccaneers.
But you still lost to the Jets, my guy.
Yeah. That's a tough one to swallow.
Oh my God, that's
giggity.
I don't know how you can handle that. Like this.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But like I said, man, I'm not really impressed with the Rams' play. Like, yes, they win games, but to me, I don't see it as, it's just a, nah. Yeah,
but they were so much better than the, I don't know. I get a headache thinking about the win possibilities for the Jets, man. Like,
I think the Rams, I think they are in trouble.
And yeah.
I think they are in trouble.
I don't know what you guys been doing before that game, but y'all need to stop it.
They do have a lot of players out too. They do have a lot of players out for the season, or whatever. They're only like their real bright spot on receiver is Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper.
That's about it. Like, they don't really have much else on the offense, so to speak. Goff hasn't really been having a spectacular season. Their defense is what's really, helping them out. But offensively, I'm not really impressed with the Rams.
Listen. I'm gonna need y'all to have a training day every day for these guys that aren't being impressive, that aren't living up to their money, because y'all just lost to the Jets, man.
Yeah.
Something need to give. Either they just need to give up their free time, or something need to give. Like,
I mean, they are playoff bound, so I can't take that away. They are playoff bound, so. We'll see how.
They are, but like, you're gonna enter the playoffs and be like, "Oh, you have a loss. Who'd you lose to? Oh, we lost to the Jets, man." You think you can say that proudly? You think every other team in there is gonna be like, "Yeah, we beat them," and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, we lost to them. We lost to the Jets." We're that 1% factor that prevented them from having no win record.
You can either use that as fuel, or you could just
listen. That would have hurt me every time I look at the record.
It will, yeah. That's definitely a bad look.
Cause it's always that one team in every season that loses to the Jets that prevent them from having that no wins record, and I would hate to be that team.
But look, man, you got teams that were, top tier teams going into a game 13-1, and they lose to a team that's 1-2, or like every year you get that one team that's good that loses to the team that's the worst in the league. It happens any given Sunday, man.
Yeah,
that's what you gotta love about football. Any given Sunday.
That is true.
Because I don't recall when was the last team that went 0-4-16. So you get teams that win one game.
It's been a long time.
Next game we're going to look at is the Chiefs beating the Saints in a thriller. Now, watching the game, whatever, it was, Chiefs did take a decent lead, whatever, but Saints did claw back. The whole game, they put Mahomes under pressure. And what saved him is that he's a mobile quarterback. Watching that game, I see why the Saints is a nightmare matchup for the Buccaneers. Because Brady doesn't move out of the pocket, and the Saints just destroyed Buccaneers. So with them always getting at the quarterback, pretty much you got to have a mobile quarterback in order for you to beat the Saints with their defense, because their front four can get to your quarterback.
They're the meanest players in the game.
They can get to your quarterback. So with that being said, do you think that this was a preview of the Super Bowl, the Saints versus the Chiefs?
No, because I feel as though the Super Bowl is different. You have a lot more on the line, and you're not gonna make careless mistakes or careless judgments.
So who do you think will be going to the Super Bowl?
I think the Saints have a better shot at going to the Super Bowl than the Chiefs at this point.
Oh, okay. So who do you think is gonna prevent the Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl?
Listen. I don't have all the answers, but I just know that the Chiefs aren't going to make it either.
I don't see nobody in the AFC really stopping the Chiefs, to be honest. I can't really think. I thought it was going to be the Steelers, but I got to rethink that.
Listen. Don't count my team out. Just because we lost some games, don't count my team out.
Look, I honestly think it's going to be a preview of the Super Bowl, because with the Saints, like I said, with their pass rush, the only two teams that really has a shot of avoiding that pass rush is the Packers and the Seahawks because they got mobile quarterbacks. So yeah, for me, I think it was a preview of the Super Bowl.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Steelers are gonna come out. It's gonna be us, and it's gonna be us and the Saints.
All right. Speaking of the Steelers, this is the last topic of the show. Steelers lost to the Bengals. That's now 3 in a row.
Listen,
Look, they lost to Washington, they lost to the Bills, and then they lost to the Bengals.
we had some off nights. That's what it is. Not
Are
enough.
they in trouble? And take note, the next game they play is the Colts.
We are not in trouble. I guarantee we will crush the Colts. We will crush them. We are not in trouble. You know what it is though? We
Wait, are you speaking as a fan or a real person like analyzing the game?
I'm speaking. listen. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, okay? Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
All right, I'm listening.
Listen, honestly, I think we were unprepared for these last 3 games. We came in with a set game plan, and our game plan was not efficient enough to bring us to victory. And I think that some revisal of our offensive and defensive planning needs to be done. And this next game that's coming up against the Colts, I think we're going to come in with a better strategy, and we're going to win. Then we're going to go win some more. We're going to win some more. And we're going to make it.
See, I got to give Steelers a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. And the only reason why I got to give them a little bit benefit of the doubt is because a lot of the games that they were playing, like that they lost, whatever, was under short rest. What I mean by that is a lot of their games was pushed back because of coronavirus, whatever, because of coronavirus, players testing positive. So games were pushed back. So that where they would have played like a game on Sunday or Monday, they had to play on Wednesday, then turn around Sunday play again, and then the next following week, coronavirus again, whatever. So they had a lot of games that the scheduling made them play more games with less rest. So fatigue can kick in. I gotta give them, because I think the stat was they played like 3 or 4 games in 19 days, whereas usually when you play that amount of games, you play in a 27 game span.
Yeah, 27
you get what I'm saying?
span.
So you basically chopped a lot of their rest days, not in half, but like a quarter of it.
Yeah.
And Ben is older now. He's not young, so that bounce back it takes longer to bounce back. So that's where I give them a benefit of the doubt, where fatigue could kick in whatever, which makes it harder for them. But with that being said, if they lose to the Colts, they're in trouble.
If they lose to the Colts, I'm gonna go down there and coach them my damn self.
They're in trouble because the Colts, man, is a very good team. Phillip Rivers is doing his thing with the Colts offense, and Colts always had a defense.
Listen, we are going to break the Colts defense, and we're going to walk away with this win. I have complete faith in the Steelers.
I hope you do, man, because if they lose,
I will go coach the team myself.
This. If they lose, the Browns is winning that division. I don't see Steelers overtaking the Browns.
No.
The Browns, the Browns... Did they only lose 3 games? 2 or 3 games?
They lost 3 games. 3 games.
Yeah, and Steelers lost 3 in a row. Listen. So if they lose, Browns take the top of the division. If Browns win and Steelers lose, Browns is now winning the division. And I think the last game, do Steelers play them again? I think they might be playing them again.
We played them again.
Yeah. So right now, Browns is rolling, man. Browns is rolling.
We not.
Matter of fact, Browns beat the Titans. And they destroyed them.
We're not worried about these yellow bellies, okay?
All right.
We're not worried about
All right. Yo.
We're not worried about them.
I hope he's right. He doesn't want to take the fact that Steelers are on a downward spiral, but...
Listen.
Look.
We will come back. It always be like that. Sometimes you take some L's because you weren't prepared. Then you come back stronger than ever, okay?
I hope so, because
Just look at the Jets.
Uh-huh.
They've been taking L's all the time, and they came back, and they beat the Lions. Prime example.
That's the one. You mean Rams? That's one game.
The Rams. I'm sorry.
That's one game.
It does not matter. They still came back after somebody else, right?
But they're not playoff bound. That's gonna do it for our show this week.
Yeah, imagine if they make it in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, right? That'll be something special right there. All right, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Time for me to hold it down. Time for me to break it down. Y'all cats don't wanna see me. Y'all better mind your P's and Q's.